All right, we are here for the assignment Processing Causes of the Civil War. And for the processing for this assignment is we're going to go ahead and do a one pager. And the first thing I want to have you do before we even discuss this, is you need to make sure you have your notes, okay? And the notes need to be out. So you're going to find your notes under week 3, and we've worked with them for multiple times. It is the Civil War Causes Research Notes. I would also advise you to take your text and go ahead and get it ready as well. So I have the notes here, and you'll have yours all filled out. If you don't have yours all filled out, you need to get them done. And this is the text that you will use to go ahead and complete those notes. And they go in the order of the text. Just want to make sure that you have them done, and then they'll be ready for you. Okay. So make sure that these are up. We go all the way up to the very front. This is what they look like. Make sure you have these open. Now, the reason I want you to have your text open is because we did a lot of work with this. And if I'm doing something and I'm going back and reflecting on my notes, oftentimes I'll have questions. What was I even talking about? What was this referring to? And so that's why I'm saying you need to get the text open. And it's something that I've been trying to relay to you to do all year, but I don't think that it's kind of catching on. You need to have your notes out. You need to get them ready. You are expected to use them when you do the assignment. So there's all of our information. And then if you're still confused about Northwest Ordinance, you go back to your text and you read about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You need to get used to doing that and getting ready for high school. This is a skill you'll do in college, using your notes to do an assessment. Okay, so I'm done with that little spiel. Let's go to the processing. So the assignment for this is that we're going to do a one pager. Let me see if I can present this. And it's loading. All right, so the processing for the one pager. Our essential question that we had was, how did the events of the mid-1800s keep the nation together or pull the nation apart? And I think that this does not look as well as I thought it would. So let's go ahead and get out of there. And let me just zoom in. Okay. All right, so you're going to divide your paper into thirds, and in each section you're going to have the following. So before we even go to that, I'll give the option to all students that you can either do it online using Kami, or you can do paper. So I will have paper for you if you decide to use it on paper. If you are doing the one pager, this is the template, and you'll just go ahead and open it with Kami. There's already 3 sections there. There's already a place to put your title. It's just a template ready for you to go. Okay. Get back to the processing. Okay, so how did the events of the mid-1800s keep the nation together or pull the nation apart? So you're going to divide your paper into thirds. So you have the title of the compromise that held the nation together or event that tore it apart. So let's go back to the notes here. You have 2 compromises that kept the nation together. You have the Missouri Compromise, and you have the Compromise of 1850. Okay, so these 2 things, there we go. These 2 things kept the nation together. And so you want to pick one of those, all right? And then these things are the events that pulled the nation apart. So you're going to go ahead and use that information as well. You've already got it all in here. Don't forget that Dred Scott also pulled the nation apart as well. Okay. So you need a summary of the main points and at least 2 key details. Now, the very fancy thing that is great for this assignment is that on your notes, when you go, you already have 2 key details. Okay, there's 2 important decisions. That's the same thing as a key detail. Here, if you use these, this is already labeled 2 key details. Okay, you also have them up here as well. This one has 4 details, and you're going to pull 2 of them. All right. So you've already got that information. I am not testing you on putting that in your own words. I'm assessing you over analysis, which we'll be getting to. So feel free to go back and just put the details on there on your one pager. Okay, you've already got them. You do not need to change the words, just put them in there. Okay. Then you need to write down how it either kept the nation together or pulled the nation apart. Well, go back to your notes. That information is already there. So here's how the event pulled the nation apart from many of these. Okay. And here is how it would pull the nation, pull the nation apart here. Okay. Then here is, if we go to one of the compromises, here's how it kept it together. Okay, because it was a compromise that they passed that both of them agreed on. You are free to use these things word for word. And so that is fine. Let's go back to the processing. Okay, so the summary, you're going to just pull that from your notes, and how it kept it together or pulled it apart, pull it from your notes. Okay, that's why I'm saying you need to have the notes filled out, or this is going to be extremely difficult. Now, the next thing, this is what I am grading most of all. Okay, this line right here. So, not real happy why that's so blurry. Okay, a quote from the text that supports how it did this. Okay, that's why you're going to need your text. So if you talk about Bleeding Kansas, you are going to find a sentence in here that says how it either pulled the nation together or pulled the nation apart. Okay, kept it together or pulled it apart. Now, this part is what I'm going to spend most of my time looking at, that quote. That quote should be from you finding it, not from your peer, okay? And not from Wikipedia or any other place, okay? That is that's the central focus on this, is finding evidence. That's what the main goal is. So if you just get the evidence from your peer, you are not doing it correctly. All right. So to summary, you're pulling from your notes. How it kept it together or pulled it apart, pull from your notes. A quote, pull from the text by yourself. Okay. And also, I want quotes put around it. All right. And I want it word for word. Okay. So each event should have at least one image that you can either draw or pull from the internet. Make your best attempt to fill the page with enriching details and information. That's what makes it a one-pager, okay? And then colorful and eye-catching. So achieve this a number of ways with visuals and text. Now, when you're using Kami, the one thing that I notice is that kids like to use the draw tool, and that's fine, but knowing what we know now and using Kami the way that we do, pull information from the media tool, and drawing stick figures probably isn't really appropriate. Crop and size it, get your information here. So part of your grade is making this eye appealing and making sure that it all looks nice, and making sure that your font here might be a little bit bigger so that I know what you're talking about. Okay. So that is a big part of your grade. If you can do a well done stick figure, that's fine. But now with the causes of the Civil War, there's so many good paintings out there, so many good pictures, depictions out there. If you're going to do this on here, pull from media, add media. Don't just think that a stick figure is going to get you a good grade, even though I'm definitely not going to fail you if you have really good information and then really bad stick figures. Okay. I think that's it as far as that goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll go ahead and get started on this. You'll have a class period to finish after we do some review, and then another class period to work on it as well. All right. Thank you.